playing with your cat?
Oh, he just went in there a few seconds ago to put away his clothes. He's been out here all this time.
Mrs. Van Daan, may I try on your coat?
Oh, no, Anne.
Oh, it's all right. But you be very careful with it. My father gave me this coat the year before he died. Oh, he always bought me the best that money could buy.
Mrs. Van Daan, did you have a lot of boyfriends before you were married?
Oh, Anne, dear, that is a personal question. It is not courteous to ask personal questions.
I don't mind. Oh, our house was swarming with boys. When I was a girl, I had the...
God, not again.
Oh, shut up. One summer, we had a big house in Hilversum. And the boys were buzzing around like bees around a jam pot. And I was 16, and we wore our skirts very short in those years. And I had good-looking legs. I still have them. I may not be as pretty as I used to be, but I still have my legs. Don't you think so, Mr. Frank?
All right, we see them.
I'm not asking you, I'm asking Mr. Frank.
Please, Mother.
Oh, I embarrass you, do I? Well, I hope the girl that you marry has as good. Oh, my father was very worried about me in those days, what with all the boys buzzing around. And he said to me, if ever anyone gets fresh, you say, remember, Mr. So-and-so. Remember, I'm a lady.
Remember, Mr. So-and-so. Remember, I'm a lady.
Oh, Annika.
Look at you talking that way in front of her. Don't you know she puts everything down in that diary?
So if she does, I'm only telling the truth.
Showing off your legs.
So would you mind, Peter, if I moved you over to the couch?
Meet must have the radio on.
Haven't you finished yet?
No.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
All right, I'm a dunce.
Uh-huh.
A hopeless case.
Right.
Why do I go on?
Uh-huh.
You're not hopeless. No, please, don't talk like that. It's just that you don't have anyone to help you like the girls have. Maybe you could help, Mr. Frank.
I'm sure that his father...
No, not me. I can't do anything with him. He won't listen to me. Go ahead if you want to.
Well, what do you think, Peter? Shall we make our school co-educational?
You're an angel. An angel. I don't know why I didn't meet you before I met that one there. Oh, Peter. Now, you listen to everything Mr. Frank says.
Yes, I think maybe it's better we continue in Peter's room.
That's right. Now, Peter, you listen to everything Mr. Frank says because Mr. Frank is a highly educated man.
Shh, I can hear a man's voice talking.
Aren't things bad enough here without you sprawling all over the place?
Well, if you didn't smoke so much, you wouldn't be
Am
so
I
bad-tempered.
smoking? Do you see me smoking?
You mean you smoked up all those cigarettes?
One package. Meep only brought me one package.
Well, it's a filthy habit anyway, so it's time for you to break it.
Don't start.
Do you know they're just smoking
All right,
up
just
all
keep
of our
still.
money? You know that.
Will you just keep still? Will you shut up? What are you staring at?
I never heard grown-ups quarrel before. I thought that only children quarreled.
That wasn't a quarrel. It's a discussion. And I never heard children so rude before.
I rude?
Anne, dear, will you bring me my knitting? I must remember when Meep comes to ask her to bring me some more wool.
I need some more hairpins and some soap. I made a list.
Have you any library books when Meep comes?
It's a wonder that Meep has a life of her own the way we make her run errands for us. Please, Meep, get me some starch. Please, take my hair out and have it cut. Tell me all the latest news, Meep. Did you know that she was engaged? His name is Dirk, and Meep's afraid that the Nazis will ship him off to work in their war plants in Germany. That's what they do with the young Dutchmen. They pick them up...
Do you ever get tired of talking? Suppose you try to keep still for 5 seconds. Just 5 seconds.
Anne, will you go and finish your milk?
I never heard such a child. Talk, talk, talk. Where's my, every night it's the same thing. Talk, talk, talk. Where did I put my...
What are you looking for?
Pipe. Did you see my pipe?
Well, because your pipe, you don't have any tobacco.
At least I'll have something to hold in my mouth. Morgan, have you seen my pipe?
It was on the table last night.
I know. And have you seen my pipe? And...
Anne, dear, Mr. Van Daan is speaking to you.
Am I allowed to talk now?
You are the most aggravating. She's the most... You know what the trouble with you is? You've been spoiled. What you need is a good old-fashioned spanking.
Remember, Mr. So-and-so. Remember, I'm a lady.
Anne, please.
Why can't you be nice and quiet like your sister Margaret? Why do you have to show off all the time? Let me give you some advice, young lady. A man doesn't like that kind of thing in a girl. Did you know that? A man likes a girl who listens to her husband once in a while. A nice domestic girl who will keep the house shining for her husband. A girl who likes to sew and cook.
I'd cut my throat first. I'd open my veins. I'm going to be remarkable. I'm going to Paris.
Paris.
To study music and art.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a famous dancer or singer or something wonderful.
Oh! Oh, look what you've done, you clumsy little fool. Oh, my beautiful coat my father gave
I'm
me.
so sorry.
What do you care? It's not yours, so you ruined it. Do you know what this coat costs, do you? Oh, look at it. Look at it. Oh.
I really am very sorry.
I could kill you. I could just kill you for this.
Leafia, come back. The supper. Come back.
Anne, dear, you must not behave in that way.
It was an accident.
No, I don't mean that. I mean answering back. You must not answer back. They are our guests. We must always show the greatest courtesy to them. Look, we're all living under terrible tension, and that's why we must try and control ourselves. You don't hear Margaret getting into arguments with them, do you? She's always courteous, never familiar. She keeps her distance, and they respect her for it. Why don't you try and be like Margaret?
And have them walk all over me the way they do her? No thanks.
I'm not afraid that anyone is going to walk all over you, Anne. I'm afraid for other people, that you'll walk on them. I don't know what happens to you, Anne. You get so wild, so self-willed. You know, if I'd ever spoken to my mother the way you speak to
Things
me...
have changed. People just aren't like that anymore. Yes, Mother. No, Mother. Anything you say, Mother. I've got to fight things out for myself. Make something of myself.
But it isn't necessary to fight to do it. Margaret doesn't fight.
Margaret, Margaret. That's all I ever hear from everyone. How good Margaret is. Why can't you be more like
Come
Margaret?
now, Anne, don't get so
Everything
upset.
she does is right and everything I do is wrong. I'm the goat around here. You're all against me.
That's not true.
And you worst of all.
I don't know how we can go on living like this. I can't say a word to Anne. She flies at me.
Oh, you know, Anne, in half an hour she'll be out here laughing and joking.
Look, I told your father it wouldn't work, but no, he had to ask them. He said he owed it to them. And I knows that I was right. These quarrels, this bickering. Oh. Every time I hear that noise, my heart stops.
It's all right, Mother. It's Meep. Father, Meep's here.
Oh, thank you, Margaret. Has everyone his list?
I'll get my books. Here's your list. Meep's here.
Last, I'll have some cigarettes.
Oh, I can't tell you how unhappy I am about Mrs. Van Daan's coat. Anne should never have touched it.
Oh, she'll be all right.
Is there anything I can do?
No, don't worry.
Mr. Crowler.
Hello.
How are you, Mr. Crowler?
Fine, thank you.
This is a surprise.
When Mr. Crowler comes, the sun begins to shine.
Meep is coming?
Not tonight.
Wouldn't you like a cup of coffee? Or better still, will you stay and have supper with me?
No, thank you.
Mr. Crawler has something to talk over with us. Something has happened, he says, which demands an immediate decision.
Oh, what is it?
Well, usually when I come up here, I try to bring some bit of good news. But today something has happened. Dirk, Meep's Dirk, you know, came to me just now. He tells me he has a Jewish friend living near him, a dentist. He says he's in trouble. He begged me, could I do anything for this man? Could I find him a hiding place? So I come to you. I know it's a terrible thing to ask of you living as you are, but would you take him in with you?
Of course we will.
It'll just be for a night or two until I find him some other place. This happened so suddenly, I didn't know where to turn.
Where is he?
It's downstairs in the office.
Good, bring him up.
His name is Dussel, Jan Dussel.
Dussel.
I'll get him.
Forgive me, I spoke without consulting you. But I knew you'd feel as I do.
This is your place. You have a right to do exactly as you please, of course. But the way I feel is, there's so little food as it is to take in another person.
We can stretch the food a little. It's just for a few days.
Would you like to bet?
I think it's fine to have him. But Otto, where are you going to put him? Where?
He can have my bed. I'll sleep on the floor. I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, that's very kind of you, Peter, but your room is already too small, even for you.
I have an idea. I'll come in here with you and Mother, and Margaret can take Peter's room, and Peter can go in our room with Mr. Dussel.
That's right. We could do that.
No, you mustn't sleep in that room, Margaret. No, you nor Anne. Mushy has caught some rats in there. He's brave. He doesn't mind.
Well, then how about this? I'll come in here with you and Mother, and Mr. Dussel can have my bed.
No. Margaret will come in here with us, and Mr. Dussel can have her bed. It's the only way. Margaret, will you bring your things in here? And you go and help her.
Why, Margaret? Why can't I come in here?
Because it wouldn't be proper for Margaret to sleep with a...
Well, that's not fair.
Please don't argue, please.
Anne, do you mind sharing your room with Mr. Dussel?
No, of course not.
Where's the cognac?
It's over there. But, Otto, I was saving it in case Phil...
I think we will never find a better time to use it. Give me 5 glasses, Peter, please.
What's happening? What's going on?
Someone's moving in with us.
In here? You're joking.
It's just for a night or two, until Mr. Caller finds him another place.
Yeah. Come in, Mr. Dussel.
This is Mr. Frank.
Mr. Otto Frank.
Yes. Please let me take your things. This is my wife, Edith.
Mr. Dussel?
This is Mrs. and Mr. Van Daan.
How do you do?
Their son, Peter. And my 2 daughters, Margaret
Pleased to meet you.
and Anne.
Thank you, Mr. Frank. Thank you all. Mr. Dussel, I'll leave you in good hands. Oh, Dirk's coat.
What can I say to thank you?
Mr. Crowler and me are our lifeline. Without them, we could not live.
Please. You make us seem very heroic. It's not that at all. We simply don't like the Nazis. We don't like their methods. We don't like anything about them.
I know. No one is going to tell us Dutchmen how to treat our damn Jews, right?
Pay no attention to Mr. Frank. I'll be up tomorrow to see that they're treating you right. Oh, don't trouble to come down again. Peter, you'll bolt the door after me, won't you?
Yes, sir.
No, Peter. I'll do it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good night, Mr. Crowler.
Good night, Mr. Crowler.
Mr. Dussel.